In American politics, few have been as polarizing as Marjorie Taylor Greene. Known for her unfiltered rhetoric and controversial statements, she quickly became a household name. For 6 years, the Georgia Congresswoman was a force in the Republican Party, known for her fierce loyalty to Donald Trump and her confrontational style. Her speeches often drew large crowds, and her social media presence was equally formidable. She was a headline maker, electrifying her base and infuriating opponents. Her ability to dominate the news cycle was unmatched, making her both a hero and a villain in the eyes of many. But on January 5, 2026, Greene's time in Congress ended abruptly. The announcement came as a shock to many, leaving both her supporters and critics in disbelief. Her resignation sent shockwaves through Washington, capping months of public disputes and growing tension. The political landscape was suddenly thrown into disarray. In a video, Greene cited deep frustration with the political system and infighting within her own party. She expressed a sense of betrayal and disillusionment that had been building for some time. The once unstoppable firebrand had decided she'd had enough. Her departure marked the end of a tumultuous chapter in American politics. Her exit signaled a major shift in the political landscape, shaking the already fragile GOP majority in the House. The balance of power was now more precarious than ever. Greene's departure was more than just one member leaving. It was a sign that the MAGA movement's foundation was cracking. The implications were far-reaching, affecting not just her district but the entire nation. Supporters were stunned and her colleagues scrambled to adjust. The sudden vacuum left by her resignation created a ripple effect throughout the party. The balance of power in Washington suddenly felt uncertain. Lawmakers were left to navigate a new political reality without one of their most vocal members. Greene's story is about loyalty, betrayal, and the shattering of a powerful political alliance. Her journey from staunch supporter to outspoken critic is a testament to the volatile nature of political allegiances. Her journey from Trump's biggest cheerleader to one of his most vocal critics reveals deep divisions within the conservative movement. These divisions are now more apparent than ever. The drama of her resignation is a critical piece for understanding American politics today. It highlights the fragility of political alliances and the ever-changing dynamics within parties. As the dust settles, the question remains: what happens when a political alliance built on loyalty collapses? The future of the GOP and the broader political landscape is now in flux. Greene's exit marks the end of an era and the start of a new, unpredictable chapter. The nation watches closely, waiting to see what comes next. The nation is left to grapple with the fallout. The impact of her resignation will be felt for years to come, shaping the future of American politics. Greene's resignation was the result of months of simmering conflict, both behind closed doors and in the public eye. Tensions had been building for some time, with whispers of discontent echoing through the halls of Congress. She grew increasingly disillusioned with Republican leadership, feeling that they'd abandoned the America First agenda she had championed. Greene believed the party was drifting away from its promises, prioritizing political expediency over the values that got them elected. Her frustration became a constant theme in her public statements, as she openly criticized her colleagues and called out what she saw as hypocrisy and broken promises. The rift extended beyond party leaders to Donald Trump himself, a figure she once fiercely supported but now found herself at odds with. Once in lockstep, Greene and Trump began to clash, especially over foreign policy and the direction of the movement. Their disagreements became increasingly public, signaling a deeper divide. She saw the movement losing its way, entangled in foreign interventions it once opposed, and felt the original mission was being lost to political maneuvering. Isolated and at odds with both her party and its leader, Greene found herself unable to defend their choices. The sense of alienation grew, leaving her feeling like an outsider in her own caucus. The internal battles became as draining as the external ones, wearing her down emotionally and physically. Every day brought new confrontations and disappointments. She felt the party was betraying its voters, serving donors and foreign interests instead of Americans. The voices of frustrated constituents weighed heavily on her conscience. The conflict reached a boiling point over fundamental ideological differences, with no room left for compromise or reconciliation. Greene decided she'd rather walk away than compromise her core beliefs. For her, staying would mean betraying the very principles she entered Congress to defend. Her resignation was a declaration of principle over party, a final stand for what she believed was right, even if it meant standing alone. Greene's break with Trump exploded over two issues: the Epstein files and Venezuela. She demanded the full release of Epstein documents, insisting on transparency for the victims. Trump warned her to back off, fearing the fallout. When she refused, he publicly withdrew his endorsement, calling her a traitor. The rift deepened over Trump's military intervention in Venezuela. Greene, a staunch non-interventionist, condemned the operation as regime change for oil. She questioned why the focus wasn't on Mexican cartels, the real source of the drug crisis. Trump's response was brutal. He attacked her relentlessly on social media. For Greene, the personal betrayal was the final straw. Their alliance was obliterated in a storm of accusations and insults. Greene was left completely alienated from the movement she once championed. Political battles turned personal and dangerous for Greene. The assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in 2025 underscored the risks. After Trump branded her a traitor, Greene and her family faced a wave of credible death threats. A specific threat against her son crossed a line she couldn't ignore. The cost of public service now included her family's safety. The climate of fear changed her perspective on her role. Greene realized she could no longer justify the risk. Her resignation was as much about protecting her family as it was about politics. She stepped away before becoming another casualty of America's political wars. Just days after resigning, Greene shocked everyone by appearing on ABC's The View. No longer speaking only to her base, she took her message to a mainstream and often hostile audience. Greene forcefully condemned Trump's Venezuela intervention, arguing the real threat was at the southern border. She hammered her non-interventionist America First message: no more regime change, no more foreign wars. Greene presented herself as a principled populist, not a partisan warrior. When asked if she'd return to Congress if Trump asked, she replied, "Absolutely not." The pain and betrayal were still fresh. Her appearance was a public declaration of independence from Trump and the GOP. Greene was determined to chart her own path. With Congress now in her rearview mirror, speculation swirled about Greene's next move. Her departure from the Capitol sent shockwaves through Washington, leaving both supporters and critics wondering what her future might hold. Would she fade from the spotlight, or was this just the beginning of a new chapter in her political journey? Rumors quickly circulated. Would she run for Senate, governor, or even make a long-shot bid for president? Greene, however, was quick to shut down the speculation, dismissing the idea of seeking higher office for now and telling reporters she had no such plans. Instead, she insisted her focus was on uniting Americans around everyday issues, like the rising cost of groceries and affordable healthcare. Greene emphasized that she wanted to address the real concerns facing families rather than chase headlines or political power. This marks a notable shift in her approach, from waging culture wars to embracing a more populist, issue-based platform. Greene's message now centers on economic challenges and the struggles of ordinary Americans, signaling a new direction for her activism. Greene says she aims to build a new movement, one not tied to any single party or political leader. She's reaching out to grassroots supporters, hoping to create a coalition that transcends traditional partisan divides. She remains non-committal about her party affiliation, saying, "Both Democrats and Republicans need to earn my vote." Greene has hinted she's open to working with anyone who shares her priorities, regardless of party label. It's a risky strategy, but it gives her the freedom to appeal to disaffected voters who feel left behind by the current system. Greene hopes to tap into the frustration and uncertainty many Americans feel about politics today. For now, her plans remain vague. There's no new organization or campaign officially announced. Greene says she's still weighing her options and listening to supporters before making any big decisions. In the meantime, Greene intends to use her platform to shape the national conversation from outside Congress. She's turning to podcasts, social media, and public appearances to keep her voice in the mix. She's left the institution, but not the political arena. Greene's next steps remain uncertain, but her influence and her ambitions are far from over. Greene's resignation triggered a political scramble in Georgia's 14th district. The deep red district now faces a chaotic special election, with no party primaries, just a jungle primary with all candidates on one ballot. Over a dozen Republicans, including local figures and activists, are vying for the seat. The fractured GOP field creates a rare opening for Democrats. Sean Harris, a retired Army general who previously ran against Greene, is running again. If Republicans split the vote, Harris could consolidate Democratic and anti-GOP support. The stakes are high. Losing this seat would be a major blow to Republicans. For Democrats, a win would be a political earthquake. Greene has refused to endorse anyone, leaving her former supporters to decide. The race is a crucial test of the GOP's strength in the post-Greene era. Greene's departure has immediate consequences for the balance of power in Washington. The GOP's House majority is now razor-thin, making every vote critical. Democratic successes in recent special elections suggest shifting political winds. The Georgia special election will test whether Democrats can flip even the reddest seats. The public feud between Greene and Trump exposes deep rifts within the Republican Party. The party struggles to define itself, non-interventionist populism, or Trump's shifting priorities. Greene's resignation has set off a chain reaction, weakening the GOP, exposing divisions, and fueling realignment. These events reflect broader instability in American politics. As the 2026 midterms approach, the fallout from Greene's exit will continue to shape the landscape.